There is a simple truth that is often forgotten in our busy lives. It is the truth that what we have, right now, can be enough. Many people live as if life will only begin when they reach a new goal, when they buy a new thing, or when they achieve a bigger success. But this way of living pushes happiness away, always into the future, never in the present. To recognize enough is not to reject all dreams or hopes. It is to understand that life has value in this very moment. The taste of food, the warmth of the sun, the sound of the wind through the trees, these are not small things. They are gifts. When we stop and really notice them, we see that we already live surrounded by treasures. The mind often says, "I need more, I need better." But the heart knows another way. The heart can rest in the feeling that what is here right now is already complete. This does not mean we stop working or caring for our families. It means that we are not prisoners of endless wanting. We can move through life with a lighter step, not always weighed down by the thought that something is missing. To see what is enough is like opening our eyes after a long sleep. Suddenly, the ordinary world shines. Suddenly, the life we already have feels full. This truth is simple, but it takes courage to accept it. Enough is not far away. Enough is already here. Many people believe that if they only had a little more, they would finally be satisfied. A little more money, a little more comfort, a little more praise from others. This way of thinking feels natural, but it often becomes a trap. When one desire is met, another quickly rises. The mind says, "Just this one more thing, and then I will be happy." But when that thing comes, the happiness fades, and the chase begins again. This endless running is like trying to fill a cup that has a hole in the bottom. No matter how much water you pour in, the cup never becomes full. In the same way, when the heart is restless, no amount of possessions or achievements can bring lasting peace. The joy may sparkle for a moment, but it quickly slips away. This does not mean that goals or dreams are wrong. It is good to work hard and to care for one's responsibilities. But when we place our whole hope in the future, we miss the life that is happening right now. We may forget the laughter of a friend, the taste of a simple meal, or the comfort of a quiet evening. These moments pass by while we are still chasing the next desire. To recognize this pattern is the first step to freedom. When we see the endless chase clearly, we can pause. In that pause, there is a new choice. We can choose to run after more, or we can choose to see the value of what is already in our hands. In that moment of seeing, life feels less heavy, and the heart can begin to rest. In our search for happiness, we often overlook the ordinary. We think joy must be found in special events or big achievements. Yet life is mostly made of simple moments. A cup of tea in the morning, the sound of birds outside the window, a smile from someone we love. These are small, but they carry a gentle power. When we learn to see the ordinary clearly, it no longer feels small. It becomes a source of quiet joy. Imagine sitting with a bowl of warm soup. Nothing grand is happening, yet there is comfort and warmth. Or imagine walking slowly down a street, watching the colors of the evening sky. These moments are not dramatic, but they are real, and they can nourish the heart. The problem is that we often dismiss them. We hurry through the day, thinking only of the next task or the next desire. In doing so, we pass by treasures without noticing them. It is like walking through a garden while staring at the ground, never lifting our eyes to see the flowers all around us. To recognize enough, we must also recognize the beauty of what seems ordinary. The life we already live is full of these quiet joys, waiting to be noticed. They are not rare. They are always near. The question is whether we are willing to see them. When we begin to notice, something changes inside. Life feels richer, not because anything new has arrived, but because our eyes are open. Ordinary things, seen with care, shine with their own light. And in that light, we discover that enough is already present, hidden in the simple rhythm of each day. One of the deepest challenges in life is that we are often pulled away from the present. The mind runs toward the future, making plans and wishes. Or it runs back to the past, replaying memories and regrets. In this constant movement, the present moment is easily lost. Yet the present is the only place where life truly happens. To recognize enough, we must learn how to rest where we are. Resting does not mean doing nothing. It means allowing ourselves to be fully here without rushing to the next thing. When we drink a glass of water, we can really notice its coolness. When we listen to someone speak, we can give our full attention. These are small actions, but they bring us back to the living moment. The mind may resist this at first. It may whisper, "You are wasting time. You should be doing something important." But the truth is that the present moment is never a waste. It is the ground of our life. By being here, even for a short time, we can taste a peace that is not found in constant striving. Resting in the present also shows us that enough is already available. We do not need to wait for tomorrow to feel complete. We do not need to fix every detail of the past to feel whole. In this breath, in this step, in this very moment, there is a chance to feel that life is already full. When we practice resting here, life begins to slow down. The rush softens, the heart feels lighter, and the sense of not enough loses its power. What is here becomes enough, because we are truly present to receive it. One of the strongest reasons people feel they do not have enough is comparison. We look at the lives of others and believe that they are happier, wealthier, or more successful. We see their houses, their travels, their families, or their health, and we begin to think our own lives are lacking. This is the illusion of comparison, and it can quietly steal away our peace. The problem is that comparison is never fair. We see only a part of another person's life, often the part they choose to show. But behind every smile, there may be sorrow. Behind every success, there may be struggle. When we compare ourselves with an image, we measure against something incomplete and unreal. Comparison also blinds us to what we already have. A person may have a warm home, good food, and loving friends, yet still feel poor when looking at someone else's wealth. Another person may have health and time, yet feel unsatisfied when looking at someone else's achievements. In this way, comparison turns abundance into emptiness. To recognize enough, we must free ourselves from this illusion. Instead of asking, "Do I have as much as they do?" we can ask, "Do I have what I truly need today?" Often the answer is yes. The food on the table is enough. The roof over our head is enough. The people who care for us are enough. When we see clearly, comparison loses its power. Life is not a race, and happiness cannot be measured by the standards of others. Each life is unique, and each has its own blessings. To stop comparing is to return to our own path, where enough has been waiting all along. When we feel that life is not enough, gratitude can softly guide us back. Gratitude is not loud or demanding. It is a gentle teacher, showing us the value of what we already have. Even the smallest things, a meal that fills the stomach, a bed that gives rest, a hand that offers comfort, can become sources of quiet joy when seen with gratitude. It is easy to forget these gifts. We may wake up each morning and not notice the simple blessing of another day. We may turn on a light and forget the wonder that our homes are warm and safe. The ordinary can feel invisible until we pause and remember. Gratitude brings these hidden treasures back into view. To practice gratitude is to look at life with softer eyes. It does not mean ignoring our struggles or pretending that pain does not exist. Instead, it means choosing to also see what supports us, what nourishes us, and what continues to give even when life feels heavy. Gratitude does not erase difficulties, but it helps us carry them with more strength. When we make space for gratitude, the sense of not enough grows weaker. The heart begins to see that enough is already present in many forms. A smile, a meal, a moment of rest. All of these can remind us that life is not empty. Slowly, gratitude teaches us to stop chasing more and to start seeing what is already here. Gratitude does not shout, it whispers. Yet in its quiet voice, it offers freedom. It tells us again and again that we already hold more than we realize. And in that recognition, the heart can finally feel at peace. Desire is a natural part of being human. From childhood, we feel the pull to reach for something new, to explore, to create, to improve. Without desire, we would not build homes, learn skills, or care for our families. Desire has its place, but when it grows too strong, it becomes a chain. It tells us that happiness is always somewhere else, just beyond our reach. Contentment is the quiet balance to desire. Contentment does not deny dreams or hard work. Instead, it places them in perspective. It reminds us that while goals are useful, life is not waiting in the future. It is happening here and now. A person can work toward tomorrow while still resting in the fullness of today. The problem arises when desire becomes endless. The new car quickly becomes old. The promotion soon loses its shine, and the heart starts reaching again. In this way, desire without balance becomes hunger without satisfaction. But when paired with contentment, desire transforms. It becomes a tool, not a master. We can pursue what matters, while also knowing that our life is already whole. Balance comes from asking honest questions. Do I truly need this, or is it only the wish to impress? Will this bring lasting value, or only a short spark? When we pause to ask, we often see that less is enough, and that contentment can walk beside us even as we strive. To live with both desire and contentment is to walk with two friends. One encourages growth, the other offers peace. Together, they guide us to a life that is both active and complete, a life where we can move forward while still knowing the deep truth of enough. At first, possessions seem to promise comfort and security. A new chair makes the room brighter, a new phone feels exciting, a new outfit brings confidence. These things are not wrong. They can be useful and enjoyable. But when possessions begin to multiply without end, they start to bring more weight than freedom. Each object we own asks for attention. Clothes must be washed, devices must be charged, homes must be cleaned and repaired. The more we collect, the more our time and energy are consumed in caring for things instead of living freely. What we thought would bring ease sometimes creates pressure. The cupboard that overflows, the drawer that cannot close, the room filled with unused objects. These become silent burdens. Possessions also fill the mind. We may worry about losing them, damaging them, or replacing them. We may compare what we own with what others have and feel restless again. The cycle of buying and protecting never truly ends. Instead of feeling rich, we may feel trapped in the weight of too much. To recognize enough is to see clearly that fewer possessions can mean greater freedom. A simple home can bring peace. A few clothes that we truly wear can be more satisfying than a closet full of forgotten ones. A meal that is plain but shared with love is richer than an expensive feast eaten in loneliness. Letting go of excess does not mean rejecting all comfort. It means keeping only what serves life, not what steals life. In doing so, we discover that lightness is a form of wealth. With fewer possessions, the hands are freer, the mind is calmer, and the heart can finally breathe. When people look back on their lives, they rarely say, "I wish I had bought more things." Instead, they often say, "I wish I had more time." Time is the true treasure of life, yet it is often traded away for possessions that soon lose their shine. We may spend long hours working for things we do not deeply need, while the most precious gift, our limited days, quietly slips away. Unlike possessions, time cannot be stored. Once a moment passes, it will never return. A conversation with a loved one, an afternoon in the garden, a walk under the stars, these moments are beyond price. They do not gather dust or break with age. They remain in the heart, shaping who we are and what we remember. The danger is that we forget this truth. We hurry, we save, we buy, believing that things will bring happiness. But things only fill space, while time fills life itself. The richest person is not the one with the fullest house, but the one who spends their time with care, giving it to what truly matters. To recognize enough, we must also recognize the value of time. When we use it wisely, even simple days feel full. Sharing a meal, listening to a story, watching the sun rise, these are treasures that no money can replace. They remind us that enough is not measured by possessions, but by how we live the hours given to us. Time is life's true wealth. When we honor it, we no longer chase endlessly for more. We see that each moment, lived with presence, is already enough. And in this way, our days become not empty, but shining with meaning. In the noise of the world, it is easy to lose touch with our own heart. Advertisements shout that we need more. Social voices suggest what success should look like. Even our own thoughts can become loud, pushing us toward endless activity. In this constant noise, the quiet voice of the heart is often hidden. Yet it is this voice that can guide us to what is truly enough. The heart's voice is not dramatic. It does not demand or argue. It whispers gently, reminding us of what brings real peace. Perhaps it says, "Spend time with those you love," or "Enjoy the simple beauty before you." When we slow down and listen, we may discover that our heart asks for much less than our mind. Ignoring this voice leads us to exhaustion. We may collect many things and chase many goals, yet still feel empty, because the heart was never consulted. But when we give space to the heart, life begins to align. We see that we do not need every desire fulfilled to be whole. We only need to live in harmony with what feels true inside. Listening to the heart takes patience. It requires moments of quiet where we set aside the demands of the outside world. In that stillness, the heart speaks clearly. It tells us that enough is not far away. Enough is already present when we live honestly, when we care deeply, and when we follow what feels genuine. The heart's quiet voice is a compass. If we trust it, we no longer feel lost in the noise of comparison and desire. Instead, we walk a path that is simple, peaceful, and complete, because we are guided by what is truly enough. Life often teaches us that more is better. More possessions, more plans, more achievements. Yet the more we add, the heavier life can feel. The mind grows restless, the body grows tired, and the heart feels burdened. True peace is rarely found in adding layers of complexity. It is often found in the gentle art of simplicity. Simplicity does not mean poverty or denying ourselves every comfort. It means choosing with care. A room with fewer objects can feel spacious and calm. A meal with only a few ingredients can taste rich and satisfying. A schedule with open space can allow us to breathe more deeply. When we keep what is essential and let go of the excess, we uncover peace that was hidden beneath the clutter. Simplicity also clears the mind. When we are not pulled in many directions, we can give ourselves fully to what matters. We can listen more closely, speak more honestly, and act with greater kindness. Life becomes lighter, not because everything is perfect, but because it is not overloaded. In simplicity, we begin to see that enough is not something we must chase. It is what remains when we release what we do not need. It is the quiet joy of knowing that we already have what sustains us. The world tells us that happiness comes from more, but the heart discovers that peace comes from less. To walk the path of simplicity is to walk toward freedom. Each step removes a weight we do not need to carry. Each choice to live simply opens space for peace, and in that space we find that life, just as it is, can already be enough. When we think of enough, we often look at money, possessions, or comfort, but the deepest sense of enough is often found in relationships. Human connection is what gives life warmth. A kind word, a shared laugh, a hand held in silence. These simple gestures can make the heart feel complete. Many people believe they need many friends or constant attention to feel valued. But in truth, even one or two genuine relationships can be enough. A true friend who listens, a family member who cares, or a neighbor who shows kindness. These bonds matter far more than a large number of shallow connections. The danger comes when we compare our relationships with those of others. We may see images of families smiling, groups celebrating, or couples traveling, and we may feel our own lives are lacking. But appearances never tell the whole story. What truly nourishes us is not how many people surround us, but how deeply we connect with those who are near. To recognize enough in relationships is to appreciate the love that is already present. It may be quiet, like a partner making tea without words. It may be steady, like a friend who answers the phone when we are in need. These small moments are not small at all. They are signs that we are not alone, that we are cared for, and that we belong. When we honor these connections, the heart feels rich. Loneliness softens, and gratitude grows. The truth is that we do not need endless admiration or countless companions. What we need is genuine connection, however simple. And when we see and value this, we realize that in love and friendship too, we already have enough. Many people live as if real life is always just ahead. They say, "When I retire, then I will rest." Or, "When I reach this goal, then I will be happy." In this way, the present day becomes only a step toward tomorrow, never enough on its own. But what if we began to see each day as complete? To live each day as complete does not mean that everything is perfect. It means that the day contains what it needs to hold meaning. A morning filled with quiet, an afternoon of honest work, an evening of sharing food with someone we love. These simple pieces are enough to form a whole. We do not need to wait for a grand event to feel that life is valuable. When we treat today as complete, we also treat ourselves with kindness. We no longer say, "I am not enough until I achieve more." Instead, we recognize that even with our flaws and unfinished tasks, we are living beings, breathing and feeling, and that is already significant. The day does not need to be flawless to be full. This way of living changes how we see time. Instead of rushing to reach the future, we step fully into the present. Each morning becomes a beginning, each night a gentle closing. We carry less regret for yesterday and less anxiety for tomorrow. Living each day as complete is a practice of trust. It is trusting that this day, with its joys and its challenges, is already whole. When we live in this way, the pressure of not enough begins to fade. Life feels steady, balanced, and deeply alive. And we begin to see that every single day, just as it is, can already be enough. As we come to the end of these reflections, I wish to return to the heart of our theme. The journey of recognizing enough is not about reaching a special point in life. It is about seeing, here and now, that life already holds what we need. Enough is not waiting in the distance. It is present in the quiet details of each day. When we look around with gentle eyes, we notice that the ordinary is full of meaning. A meal that nourishes us, a roof that shelters us, a word of kindness that reaches our heart. These are not small, and they do not need to be improved to be valuable. They are already complete. In recognizing them, we discover that we too are already complete. It is my hope that these words may serve as a reminder that peace is possible, not through endless striving, but through seeing what is already here. To live in this way is to walk with a lighter step, to rest more easily, and to appreciate more deeply the life we have been given. Before I close, I would also like to share my deep gratitude. Many of you have shown kindness through your support, by giving a like, subscribing to the channel, leaving thoughtful comments, and even offering super thanks or joining as members. These gestures are not taken for granted. They allow these teachings to continue, and they remind me of the warmth of human connection across great distances. For this, I thank you sincerely. May the sense of enough touch your days with peace, and may your life, just as it is, feel whole.